Okay, we are live, and no lag this time. I'm right on it. I want to make sure the comments are live so people can comment as well. So everyone, I think, is starting to see that I'm in the staffing industry, big industry, but it has a lot of transferable items that can relate to other industries. And number one being today that we're going to talk about is revenue growth. Right now in the staffing industry, revenue's down. It's all over there with all the data. The per diem space is way down. Travel is way down from the pandemic days. And so now, as a company, a lot of staffing companies have to pivot and say, well, where do I find the new revenue? Who moved my cheese? And so that can be similar for your company, be it healthcare staffing or not. Let me make sure my camera. Oh, there we go. Be it healthcare staffing or non-healthcare staffing. And so a couple things that I want to just touch on today, just a few minutes. And if we get questions and things like that, we can dive into those questions. But three things I'm going to touch on. I wrote them down so I don't forget anything here. But brilliance in the basics. And so people say cold calling is dead. It is not dead. I'm a cold caller. I still believe in that. I think it's one channel of numerous channels, right? So I'm pro smarter, not harder, but I want to make sure that we don't forget brilliance in the basics. People are saying I'm going to send out 100,000 emails. Okay, that's a method too, and you're going to go volume on emails and have all this copy and funnels with HubSpot or things like that. That's fine. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm saying let's make sure that if you do all those things and you have all those systems in place, make sure they're accurate, make sure they work, and make sure you get your funnel to where email, we all know the click rate and all those other data points matter. So you've got to make sure that you have great lists. You have to make sure that you have quality copy, and then you have a good call to action that drives value and says, okay, I'm going to click this link. I'm going to engage with you because your offer in the email is something that's going to help me and add value to my organization. Cold calls, the same thing. Do you have a script? Do you know what you're talking about? Are you calling the right prospects? Are you engaging them with something that's meaning for them? Are you solving a problem, a pain that they have? If the answer is yes to all those things, well, then I think cold calling still works. Email marketing still works. I'm pro LinkedIn. I do a lot on LinkedIn, and my LinkedIn strategy is a lot more too with direct messaging. So connecting with people directly, saying, "Hey, I'm in the industry. I see you have this job posted, or you have this issue. I see you're leading this organization. I'd like to help. I'd like to be involved. And can we have a one-on-one?" So I moved from LinkedIn messaging to a networking meeting, and then eventually an engagement, either for consulting or for staffing sales. But the point is that you have to have all those things and be brilliant in your basics of your sales strategy, your sales planning, and then of course your sales execution. We always want to execute. So that's important. Bullet number one here. Bullet number two. I think there's something that's missed right now in the industry, several industries, but it's also collaboration. Where can you do a joint venture with companies that maybe have a complementary product or a complementary service that doesn't overlap with your service? And you say, hey, we want to co-target this client, and say the client's spending money in this other vertical that someone else handles, and then you handle what you already handle. So we'll give one example. So let's say I'm a staffing company, and I staff therapy. So therapy. But my client also needs nurse staffing. So as an example, and I don't staff nurse staffing. I wouldn't say I would never staff nurse staffing again, but right now I'm taking a hiatus from nurse staffing, so that's okay. So my partner, they can staff nurses and maybe some other specialties. Whoops, nurses. And then the client needs both, right? They need staffing for nurses, they need staff for therapists. And so how do we work together to say, let's target this client together, and you do your piece and I do my piece, and now we have a little micro consortium, and we're able to make money together. And so you're adding value to that person who didn't have that revenue otherwise, and now you may also have a capability set. It's like, wow, I can go to Aaron's company because Aaron's got connections now with other vendors or other partners that I need in my network. So you can look at some kind of partnership network where you find all these complementary businesses that can help you, but also you help them. And so that everyone's kind of combining value there and adding value together. what happens is most people say, I do everything, so I can't partner. Okay, well, if everything makes money, then fine. But if you have a division that's not making money, then don't do it. And so once you skinny down where your focus area is, and you only pour gas on things that are generating revenue and profit for you, that helps you to figure out what you're not great at, and that's okay. You don't have to be great at everything. Find a partner that all they do is that other thing, and now you can have two bests, not two mediocres working together. The last one is double down where you are. So that's where we're talking about what's making money, what's driving revenue for you right now, where are you dominating and winning. Are you 100% fill rate there? Are you doing it perfectly? If there's money on the table, can you go back to the customer and say, hey, how do I earn more? And I don't want this just to be a pricing war, guys. I'm not trying to say, oh, I'm going to give you volume-based discounts. No, what else can I do to add more value? What other pain points do you have that we're solving this portion? How do we add more value to your organization so that we can do more business with you? And maybe that's a different type of offering. Maybe it's a different way to offer your service to them. Maybe there's something you can do to modify your offer that adds more value. One example with therapy, again, is a client is already getting bombarded with travel therapy companies. I said to the client, well, what do you actually want? What do you need? He says, Aaron, what I really need is per diem. I was like, oh, okay, sure. We can do that for you. And no one else is doing that. So now we get more business for the per diem side because we're offering that service that he's asking for. And then now we can, even if we wanted to, participate in other areas like travel if we wanted to. And so by offering and having that consultative approach with your clients and figure out where their true pain is, get to the root cause of it, you're able to unlock additional revenue sources. They're spending money in other places. You got to figure out, can you get more of it? Is it within your skill set of things that you do? Can you find a partner that can do that thing with excellence that you know, like, and trust, that you can refer to your clients and things like that? So these are some of the basic strategies that you can do to boost revenue. Again, this is just being, you should be doing this every day. This is just brilliance in what you're doing from your current sales strategy. And if you don't have a sales strategy, connect with me and we can help you develop a sales strategy. And that's a quick process to do, to look at what you're doing today, where your opportunities are, what aren't you doing, where those opportunities are, and then pouring gas on that fire with a resource or resources or team in place to go execute on that. Collaboration, that's just networking, talking to people, seeing who's got complementary assets to you, and doubling down on where you are. We've not really spent any money to do this, guys. This is like some things that are low cost, no cost for you to drive revenue. And if we just sit down and say, you know what, guys, we're going to do a power hour every day. Every day we're going to do a power hour for 1 hour of sales calls. Have your list already ready. And anyone who lands a deal or gets $100. Oh, okay. Well, when do we start? And then just see where your people are, see who's motivated, who's hungry, and then also keep the troops inspired, especially when the economy is a little tighter, a little tougher. How do we move the needle? How do we get people to think creatively? We can spend more money if we've got more budget to say, okay, what's your R&D? You know, what new verticals are out there? What new soil can we go explore? And so if you have budget for R&D, do some R&D. And you got to figure out, hey, let's do some soil samples in different industries or different geographies and see, can you get something started at a small pilot or test, right? So this is not spending, $10 million, but can we pilot? Can we test? Can we do our email campaign in a new territory? Or so we're looking at geos, we're looking at verticals. So again, there's just more available to us if we have more resources and headspace. You can only have so much headspace. Do you have the team to support this? I'm always talking to companies that literally now range. Today I had a meeting with someone, several $100 million in revenue, and then another meeting with someone who's like, a startup, and they're working towards their first $1 million in revenue. So that's where some of my advice kind of spans the gambit of potential possibilities. So engage, ask questions. DM. I try and post a lot on LinkedIn, so you can see. I want to start doing these LinkedIn live sessions every Tuesday, maybe as a third Tuesday and Thursday for about 15-20 minutes. answer a few questions, tell people some of the projects that we've got going on the Streamline group, where we do a lot of these different things. But what I find is that, people struggle sometimes in how do I grow, especially right now when things are going down in the healthcare staffing industry. My businesses are going up. We're finding new revenue. We're finding new things because we're looking and innovating and saying, okay, what are clients asking for? Can we support it? How can we leverage AI? How can we leverage nearshore? How can we leverage offshore? How do we partner and collaborate? So I'm trying to practice what I preach. I'm a practitioner in my space. I don't just consult only. I operate still, and hopefully you can see that when you look at your business, some of these gaps can still exist, and you can find ways to close them. If you need more help, feel free to reach out. We're going to look at more group coaching options. I'm going to do these live sessions, ask questions, and engage. And then if you obviously want more from the Streamline group or me, Aaron Littles, the one and only, then don't forget to connect, and DM me, and we can have a meeting. Thanks so much for your time. This was a quick 15 minutes in and out. I think I started a minute late, but the joke is when you're the captain, the meeting starts when you arrive. So take care, everybody. Have a great afternoon.